2025, baby, it's all about the know. I've been working, I've been building on my peace, clearing out the noise, yeah, my glow's unleashed. Every step intentional, every move divine. If it don't align, then it's wasting my time. I'm in my lane, no room for distractions, only keeping what adds to my satisfaction. I'm focused, I'm thriving, I'm on a new wave. 2025, it's the vibe I crave. Does it help me grow? Does it help me shine? Does it keep my energy moving in line?
All right. So, like I said, I'm Tanya Ford, and I'm the host and creator of Blended Voices. And I'm just here because, it's a lot of things going on right now. Life be lifing. Like we say, life be lifing. So a lot of stuff happening in the world. It's a lot of stuff happening in people's lives, and sometimes a lot of depression and all that kind of it's stuff happening. So I just want a Blended Voices to be a safe place to come to where we can support each other and inspire each other and uplift each other and help each other, because we're all going through something. So that's what Blended Voices is all about. So tonight we have a near and dear subject to my heart, and that's living with pain every day. Okay. I am one of the people who live with pain. Now we're talking specifically today, this is going to be physical pain. Okay. We'll dive a little bit into the mental, but this is physical pain. It's specifically neuropathy and fibromyalgia. That is something that I've learned so much more about in the last few days from these ladies that I've been talking to, and I can't wait to introduce you to them. There's a phenomenal women who's been living with this for years. So let me first, I don't know, I'm just no particular order, y'all. Okay, I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3 and go that way. All right, so
I'm gonna put myself on my picture on so your guest can be where I'm not showing.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. First, we're going to have Emily Roberts. We have Emily Roberts, and she is a compassionate professional with extensive experience working with severely disabled adults in a school setting, having lived with fibromyalgia and its associated challenges. She is passionate about improving the quality of her life, herself, and others. Emily brings resilience, empathy, and a deep understanding of chronic pain and mental health to her work and her personal life. Emily, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I'm trying to get the mouthful out, and I'm still trying to work my new eyes. So forgive me if I butchered your bio. I'll try not to butcher the next one. Okay. All right.
It's all good.
All right. Then the next one woman we have here, phenomenal. Like I said, all these women are, and you wouldn't even think they were sick, because they still so active and they're still out there. They still doing stuff, and that's why I know I have neuropathy. It's not. That's the end of life. Okay, you still have things you can do. All right, you just have to have a new normal. So this next lady is a little younger, but when I tell you a powerhouse, she is a powerhouse. And that's Simone Scurry. She is a New York native, Atlanta raised. She's 33 years old. She has one son and a partner, educator, entrepreneur, fashion designer, model, actress, officiant, and self-proclaimed superhero. Yes, she is. She has a passion for the youth and helping her community. She is a proud fibromyalgia warrior and excited to be a part of spreading awareness and support. Let's welcome Simone Scurry on too. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I said, and she's one of the younger ones out of this. So, when they were talking about fibromyalgia, somebody you get it later in life and that type of stuff. But no, that's not the case. But we're gonna talk about that. And then we have one other lady that got it pretty early in life. And I'm not, well, she worked in the Child Protective Service for years. Okay, worked there for years. She's 47 years old. She's been living with fibromyalgia for a long time, plus other issues there. And so she has a lot that she can share with it as well. And so we're talking about the amazing Kanisha Moffett. So Kanisha, can you bring yourself on here? Hello, Kanisha. How you doing today?
I'm
How
fine.
was, how was today for you, ladies?
It was okay.
Sorry,
Yes.
somebody. Oh,
Okay.
how are you doing today?
I was grandma today to the grandkids, and Lisa and her son came over too, and so that was all my grands together, and we went sliding down the driveway.
Oh, okay. Oh, a lot of snow still there.
Oh, gosh,
okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We live in Georgia. My bad.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I know
all
the word.
right.
We had our moment.
Oh my
We did.
gosh. It's Simone, how was your day? Did you have a good day?
Yeah, I had a great day today. I did a regular day nanny with my nanny share, and then I had a speech therapy client, and now I'm here with you guys. So I had a full
Okay.
day, but a great day.
All right. I appreciate it. Look at this. All she's done in a day. And when y'all find out what fibromyalgia is and what it affects, y'all gonna be like, excuse me. Okay. So Kanisha, how was your day today? You good? You're
I'm sorry. Yes,
It's
ma'am.
okay.
Just very chill and relaxed.
Hey, that's the best kind of day. That's what we want to do, right?
That's
So we
right.
want to go and do. So, all right, ladies. All right. So we talked the other day, this is not the first time we've talked about this. And the reason this is so important for me, you guys that do follow me know that I have cervical neuropathy and bulging disc issues and stuff that I've had from a car accident that I received in 2012. And I still have issues to this day, and neuropathy is no joke. That's it's something that you just don't want to, you don't want it. Okay, just don't want it, don't get it. Okay, because it's like it's the your nerves and the tingling and the burning, and it's I have cervical neuropathy, so it affects my arms and my extremities and my feet and my hands and stuff, and it's so hard as you trying to get up or trying to do something and your hand is numb. You have to literally beat my arm or beat my leg to get it to not have that numbness in it and tingling. Do any one of you guys, is that something that happens with you guys with the fibromyalgia? Emily?
Yeah, I have neuropathy also, but it's in my legs from my arthritis in my back and stuff. But and it's the tingling, the burning. You get up from sitting down and you have to get up really slow, or you get up and you're like, oh, they're not holding me up very well, and you have to sit down and start over.
Okay.
And getting out of bed is really, really hard. I kind of walk like a drunken sailor a lot of times. I'll take a couple steps right or left, and I don't mean to do that. Someday I'm going to find some dance moves that go with that, so it looks a little more normal.
There you go. You have to figure out a new normal. There you go. Figure out a dance move with it. I think, was that Humpty Hump? They had their own dance with it. Okay. All right. Simone, how about you? Does any of those things affect you with the numbness?
Oh,
Tingling?
absolutely. Especially like back here in my arms, get it the worst to me. And it might be because I work with children, so I'm doing a lot of lifting. I try to limit it, but it is what it is, especially when I have infants. But and most of the time I can't get it off of myself, and I have to have my partner like rub it out or squeeze it out. But it definitely gets to the point. But I don't necessarily get it so much in my legs. My main problem in my legs is the restless leg syndrome. So it's really just in my arms with that tingling feeling.
And you know what? And that's when you just mentioned that, Kanisha, when we talked the other day, you mentioned that restless leg syndrome. And that was the first time I had heard that with it wasn't the first time I heard it. I've heard it before, but when I talked to all three of y'all said the same thing, that y'all had the restless leg syndrome. And I'm like, is this something that goes with, fibromyalgia? Kanisha, is that something? What did the doctor say? Did you ever ask them? Was that some type of connection or anything like that? Or
When it first started happening to me, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was muscle spasms, or I had no clue. But when mentioned it to my doctor, because of all the medications that I was on, I also thought it was a side effect from that. But then when I stopped taking it and it was still happening, it was
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, what in the world is going on? Because it would mostly happen at night when I was trying to sleep, and it would wake me out of my sleep. So it was just a matter of me having to get up and kind of walk it out or just move in different positions. It was just nothing that would change or
Okay.
relieve that pain.
And that's kind of what I experienced too. And it's like people don't realize. Here's my thing with when you tell people what you're feeling. What was it like when you were going to your doctor and you were telling your doctor that you had these, you were having these issues? What did they do, Simone? What was your experience like?
My initial experience, I had came home from college. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
leave college to come home to figure it out. So my
Oh
initial
wow.
experience when I first got there was like real questioning and judgmental on my previous lifestyle that could have been in college. Like, what were you doing? Were you, and I'm like, nip it in the bud. I wasn't on drugs and that type of thing. And then it was a long time of just like, to me, in denial or disbelief because I was so young that they
Mm-hmm.
tried to make it other things. Like I went through 2 years of testing of blood work, getting blood work every 2 weeks for 2 years, trying to figure out what was wrong with me until eventually they told me I had fibromyalgia.
Mhm.
And from my understanding, a lot of people get diagnosed with fibromyalgia by process of elimination. It's not really like a fibromyalgia test, and
Mm-hmm.
then you pass or fail or show certain symptoms for a specific test. It's just, oh, you don't have all the rest of this stuff. Okay, then you must have fibromyalgia if you're in
Oh,
chronic pain.
oh,
I
okay. Well,
guess.
if we just gonna eliminate process of elimination, is that what happened with you, Emily?
Yes, most definitely. Same, same situation, except I went to a lot of doctors. They sent me my uh, um, home doctor, whatever, sent me to a lot of different doctors for each thing, like my back, my legs. I went to different doctors for every one, and that was my elimination. But also the blood test, the iron infusions, all the infusions for um, different vitamin deficiencies or whatever have you, and just yeah, it was a mess.
That was a mess.
Yeah, and it's already bad enough when we go to the doctor, and see, I worked in the medical field for years, and so I kind of know how to deal with them. If they're not listening to me, then I know how to move on to the next doctor. But a lot of times, especially African American women, a lot of times we go to the doctor, they don't listen to us. Not they not listen. They're not trying to hear exactly what's going on with us. And go in there and don't have no insurance and see how quickly they gonna treat you and street you is what they call it. But it's just, but not saying, Emily, that you don't experience that, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's like, wow, they don't listen. Well, let me go somewhere else. So what does a day look like for does a day look like for you living with this pain every day? Well, Kanisha, go with you. What does a day look like for you?
Honestly, it's it's not something that I can wake up and plan anything. I can have appointments, scheduled things on my to-do list, and I wake up and my body is telling me, nope, we're not going nowhere. We're not cooperating today. And I'm bed bound, literally. So it's just, I wake up and I'm like, okay, Lord, today, is it going to be a good day? Are we getting out? Am I going to be able to, be able to be productive. It's just a day by day thing for me.
Mhm.
It's not something that I can plan ahead or try to.
Mhm.
No, not for me. That's not the case. So
Okay.
if I do feel good, then I'm up and I'm running the heck out of my body, literally to where I'm paying for it later. But at least I feel like I accomplished something.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand that. Those days when I get these headaches with the neuropathy is on the left side, I'm completely down. I just don't call me. I'll call y'all when I'm done. So I know how having severe pain can be. Simone, what about you? What does a day look like for you? You be running though, Simone. She got 29 businesses. She got clothing
My baby.
line. She very
Of course.
test skilled. How do you, I'm serious. She is always running. I don't
Honestly, okay, it might be like a little dark, but honestly, I feel like it will come to a time where my body is going to not necessarily shut down, but turn into a different gear to where I'm not able to do everything. So the big part of the start of my day is like just telling my is determination, honestly. Saying like I can do it. I know it's like I said, I know it's cliche, but like I can do it. My biggest one for me, because I do a lot, is like God didn't give me all these gifts for nothing.
Mhm.
I've tried to like not do them or whatever, and I just don't feel complete. So my biggest thing is about time management. My day is about time management, so I make sure that I schedule out times where I'm going to rest throughout the day. Like I said, I work with children, so I know I'm guaranteed a nap time. I mean, for the most part, children are unpredictable, but for the most part, I'm guaranteed a downtime with that. I chose to be an entrepreneur so that I am in control and I
Mhm.
don't have to like feel bad about letting down a company or a classroom or
Mhm.
whatever. So I chose to be an entrepreneur. So I kind of took control in that area where I can say like, I need my downtime. I make sure that everybody around me is aware of what's going on. And then I just honestly, I go for it. I just honestly just tell myself, like, you can do it. This disease is not, or this disorder is not the best of you. It's not who you are. All the rest of these gifts is who you are. And then I just really make sure I listen to the people around me. Like my partner and my mother and my son are very, very, very adamant about me resting. So they make
Mhm.
sure, like, did you rest? Okay, make sure you get your rest. Don't worry about it. I got it. No, even my baby, he like, I could do it. I could make it myself. So they really, and then I have to make sure, like, okay, let me listen to them because I know that they love me and I know I'll go too far.
Mhm.
So I just make sure that throughout my day, I'm taking those on purpose times and then listening to the people around me so that I don't overdo it.
Okay. And that's smart. Smart advice.
Mm.
Listen to people. And one thing I know for sure, if you don't take those breaks, your body will shut you down.
Yes.
It
Oh,
will
it will
shut
always
you down.
have.
Okay. It's gonna say if you don't want to shut down, I'm gonna shut down for you. So you got to listen to your body and listen to people around you. Absolutely. Emily, how's a day? What does a day look like for you besides shoveling out the snow? Yes, I am bragging about it. Ain't no snow here.
I only shovel if it's like fluffy stuff.
Okay.
But
How's the day for you?
yesterday I was supposed to do something that I couldn't do. I felt very disappointed. I felt like I disappointed the person that I was supposed to do it with. But then she was coming back saying, no, I could really use a nap myself and blah, blah, blah. So that it seems to always work out when you can't do something, there's always another time to do it or something like that. But like today, there'll be a little price to pay for playing with the kids and stuff. But Lisa, my daughter, and Trey, Lisa's always saying, no, don't do that. Would you just quit doing that and sit down and stuff like that? She
Because
takes
you don't like to sit down. You
she don't like to
don't.
sit down. I don't
You don't sit down.
know.
You
It's
gotta sit down sometimes.
I know it's hard to sit down, but luckily I'm retired, so I
That's
get to
true.
choose. I get to choose my battles,
Touche. This is
which
true.
is a benefit too to
Oh,
dealing with pain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I definitely work from home, so that helps out a lot. For people who don't know what fibromyalgia is, um, and this is what I read. Now, you guys could definitely tell me, where you're at, but it says it's a chronic condition characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain, along with symptoms such as fatigue, cognitive disturbances, and sleep issues. It affects the way the brain processes pain signals, often leading to amplified perceptions of pain. Is that a good definition of fibromyalgia?
I think it's I think it's general.
Yeah,
General?
I think it's very,
Is
it's a
that
little
just a
very
little
general.
vague,
general? I mean,
Yeah, it's a little
very
general.
vague.
it's real.
Very
I
vague.
mean, so tell me. So what is? I mean, that's just the general thing, but what is missing from that? Kanisha?
A lot of things.
Well,
Oh
Simone,
no, Simone, go ahead.
huh?
Yeah,
Simone, go ahead. What's missing from that?
Oh God. That's why I said, okay, I don't know that it's necessarily missing. I just think that when you read that statement, right, you might get a general like idea like, oh, this person is in pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you don't get like the depth of it is what I meant. And it may be just like a long list of symptoms
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that I'm referring to, but it's so many other things that come with it. You get anxiety that people don't talk about. You get depression that people don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You get to where you want to be in this certain healthy lifestyle that you want and you can't necessarily perform it. Like working out is a crazy obstacle. It's people who I know who they can't balance their diet correctly because one reason or another, because they're depressed or because their body won't digest things properly, and then it messes up your urinary tract system and your sleep at night and your jawbone and your vision, and it's a
Oh
lot of
my
things
God, they didn't
that
put
they
all of that on here, but
Yeah.
sheesh. I went to the wrong place. I don't know where I got that little general. It was general.
That's what I say. It wasn't a bad definition. It really wasn't a bad definition.
For
It was just
beginners.
too vague
Oh,
for you
that's
to
for
get a real
beginners.
idea.
It's a for she
Yes,
says for
it's for
beginners.
beginners.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
for
that
beginners.
make that make more sense.
Make more sense. This would be somebody that's just recently been diagnosed with it, and the longer you live with it, the more things that happen and come along. And that I understand from the car accident that I got in. The guy who rear-ended me doing 50 miles per hour while I was at a stop sign, and my head hit the steering wheel so hard. Now this is May, y'all down south here. The ones that's down south, y'all know May is hot. May is hot here. May 15th is hot. Okay. So I'm at the stop sign. Next thing you know, I'm like Tweety Bird because I'm almost knocked out. And then I couldn't remember. Okay, first thing I said, I've been in an accident, but my head was cold, and I couldn't figure out why my head was cold because it was hot. And y'all know he hit me so hard, he knocked my wig in the back seat of the car.
Oh,
It was, and then the little, the stocking cap, it was hanging on just a little piece of hair. And I keep my wigs on pretty tight, y'all know, right? Y'all know that. And so from just that happening, that cervical neuropathy, then I got back issues because it's like one thing hurts. So then you start coddling, let me lose this side. So now you got issues over there. And then now you got issues somewhere else. Emily's still laughing about my wig.
Probably the one you were going to send me.
You know what?
wait, we handing
I
down
got something
wigs?
for you. Seriously, I do. We're
I
handing
said
out
we
hair. No,
handing down.
Emily, I had a
handing
black
down
wig. She
wigs?
wanted this wig. It's so funny. But from the cervical neuropathy came, it was like more and more issues came that built on from that because, I couldn't work. I was depressed. I had to, move in with a family member. Thank God I could. I lost everything and then depression set in.
Yeah.
So now you have another issue that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And so what's y'all take on that?
A little bit of insanity sets in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel a little crazy at first because pain's so invisible. No one knows what you're going through. And then you tell them and they're like going, well, you're out here, you can't be that sick. You're out doing this, you can't be that sick. But they don't realize every single thing you do, every single thing, you have to double think it. You have to say, what is this chocolate bar gonna cost me? What is this, what is alcohol gonna cost? Because they all play a part. And besides just the physical aspect of things, like being too busy one day, and then the next day you're down and out, and you can't even, you're from the bed to the couch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What about you, Simone?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. The biggest thing to me is really just about the pain being invisible, as Emily put it. The biggest thing that I think that I had faced at the beginning was getting people to understand the magnitude of the pain.
Yeah.
And the magnitude of the push through of the pain. Like, don't ever think that because I'm here that I'm not in as much pain as I'm saying that I'm in.
Exactly.
Maybe that my love for you or my happiness for you or whatever it is, I'm choosing to let it outweigh it or whatever the case is. But it was a big battle with just getting people to not necessarily believe, because I do believe wholeheartedly that people wanted to believe it, but it was just hard for them to really understand and grasp, like, how could all these things be wrong with you all the time?
If it don't help me flow, let it go. 2025, baby, it's all about the know. I've been working, I've been building on my peace, clearing out the noise, yeah, my glow's unleashed. Every step intentional, every move divine.
Blended Voice is important to me because we need some place to go and talk about important issues, important things. Like they say, life be lifing. And it's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's a lot of people in pain. There's a lot of people that's just hurt. There's a lot of people financially, spiritually. It's a lot that's going on. So Blended Voices is a place where you can come, where you can be safe, talk to each other. We're going to inspire each other. We're going to uplift each other. And we're going to help each other. Okay. And we're going to talk about a myriad of topics. But this week, we're going to follow up from last week, a dynamic show we had with Living in Pain Every Day. We had Emily Roberts, Kanisha Moffitt, and Simone Scurry. It was awesome. I promise y'all today that it would be even better. Okay. And it is. I told you we was going to get the people back that actually can help with alternative or holistic ways. First, I'm going to introduce Dr. Demitria Bates. And Dr. Demitria Bates, okay, she's been on the show before, but she actually, you guys saw her when I was under the Life, Legacy, and Transformation under the Blended Voices. And it was a great show. And so I'm so happy to have her back again. Dr. Demitria Bates founded Bates Virtual Health and Consulted LLC, an online cannabis consulting practice that provides medical card service for Virginia residents and educational consults. She's a graduate from Liberty University with a doctorate in nursing practice and became a board certified family nurse practitioner specializing in weight management and chronic care management. She has over 10 years of experience in the nursing field. She is a certified cannabis educator and health coach through the Cannabis Coaching Institute. She is an Army veteran, LGBTQIA, and cannabis advocate, a devoted wife, a loving mom, and an enthusiast healthcare professional whose heart is always driven to influence change in healthcare. She empowers clients, provides personalized care, and support individuals on their wellness journey. Dr. Bates, come on, come on. How you doing?
Thank you.
Oh, she said, I'm gonna come on here and beat you up. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming. Dr. Bates, glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming back. We talked about a lot when you was here before, so I am so excited that you came back. Okay. So
Thank
our
you.
absolutely. Our other guest we have here, another powerhouse, dynamic woman. Like I said, she was here as well, knows about the pain, and she started up her own CBD company called Higher Power. It's a 40-year-old CBD brand. Now, after the car accident, Robin looked for alternative options for pain and was introduced to CBD. Out of her pain, she created Higher Power with CBD. Her background is in Harvard Medical School, lifestyle medicine, holistic nutrition, and weight loss from Blue Herons. Come on, Miss Robin. How y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. There you go. You ladies look so beautiful. It's Thursday night. Y'all know we just relaxing. Not only do I have my drink for the evening, do y'all see my little diffuser? Yes, girl. I have it going on in here. It smells really good. You guys know I do my mocktail or my cocktail, whichever one y'all want to do, that's fine. We just relax on a nice atmosphere and just talk about some stuff that information, which is very important. People going through a lot, like I said, life be life. And so we're going to do our part to see and help people move on from whatever situation they may be. And so thank you, ladies, for coming. I appreciate it so much. Last week, dynamic show, we had, like I said, 3 people. We had Emily Roberts, we had Kamisha Moffett, we had Simone Scurry on, and they all had fibromyalgia. One thing was interesting to me that I did not know that each one of them ended up telling me they all had restless leg syndrome. Is that something that is associated with fibromyalgia, Dr. Bates? Do you know?
Most likely it is a nerve condition with the fibromyalgia and whatnot. You have nerves everywhere. I feel like it's multifactorial at encompassing the different medical conditions.
Yeah, because that was interesting to hear that all of them had this, and nobody at the same time said it. I was like, oh, wow, y'all all have the same thing that goes fibromyalgia. Neuropathy, I know about that. Robin, tell me how you end up opening CBD, Higher Power and CBD. How did you get here where you are today?
I got here because I had already studied holistic nutrition
Mhm.
and then I was in an accident. I've always had some side effects and issues with Motrin, even taking small doses. That was the first time I really had gotten into the healthcare system other than just showing up to get a physical. I was healthy. So I had a primary doctor. I had a neurologist because my brain shook. I had an orthopedic doctor. Every time I would walk into a doctor's office, they were writing prescriptions. They would ask you questions. Are you sleeping? How's your pain? So on and so forth. And they were writing prescriptions. At one time, I had a Ziploc bag, probably about this big, a big one, like one of those freezer bags, stuffed with nothing but prescriptions. And I never went and got them filled. I made a joke to someone about having some cannabis for a cream. And I said they should make some cream or something like that. And she said they do. So when I jumped through the hoops to get my license in Arizona, I always give this example. I laugh at myself. It was like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz when the movie is black and white and the doors open and it went to color, because I was the person that never touched THC, only saw marijuana for what people use it for, recreational. When I walked in, I saw all these other products. I see tea, I see honey, I see creams. And my mind just went to the possibilities. I could see it used for medical. And then I was seeing this word CBD. And it was so new. It was only being sold in dispensaries at the time. And when I would tell people about CBD, a couple of people asked me to spell it. This was before the explosion from everything carrying CBD. When I started to research, I spent close to 9 months. I went to some trade shows and tested samples and so on, and knew that this was something that I wanted to do. I know there were people just like me. They don't want to take all this medication. The medication really isn't helping. You're doped up, you're drugged up. So that's how higher power for me got started.
Yeah, and it's like that happened the same thing with me. I didn't want to take all these drugs. It's like,
Yeah.
it's got to be something better out here. And I think I said my girl gave me a CBD brownie that was a brownie laced with some THC or whatever. I don't know what level was in there, but it just took away the pain. I wasn't in pain. I felt good. I'm like, there's something to this here. I live in the South. It's not legal here in Georgia. I did tell my doctor about it. He said, of course, we don't touch it. And it's unfortunate. But Dr. Bates, how would somebody end up coming to see you? How would they get referred to you?
Usually it's by word of mouth, but I do work with a practice out in Virginia. They referred quite a few of their patients to me. And then, like I said, via social media, the Can Aquarius NP, I have people that reach out to me via DMs. But I do have my own practice, Bates Virtual Health and Consultant. You can go to www.batesvirtualhealth.com, schedule a meeting or a consult with me. If you're in Virginia, you can schedule an appointment for evaluation to get your medical card.
Okay. And so that's if you're in Virginia, but online, you can only write for people in Virginia. Is that correct?
I can only write a recommendation for those in Virginia, but those who may want, say, either guidance or just education, I can do that.
Can do
I
that.
can actually manage your care. I can give you education about the cannabis or the product or whatever it is that you may have looking for an answer for. I can do that.
So if someone came to you with fibromyalgia or neuropathy, is it first they saw the doctor and then they got recommended to you, or they're looking on their own to try to find something different than getting the pharmacies rich?
It's both. Since I partner with a company in Virginia, they are sending me their clients. Like a primary care office, the doctor feels like, hey, this client, they vet them too, just to make sure they don't have any other underlying conditions. The doctor will say, I recommend this for you since we've tried everything, we've maxed out everything, or you're having a lot of side effects. You feel like nothing else is working, you just reach out to Dr. Bates and we'll go from there. As far as more of referral from friends, read the friends, hey, just like you said, I had this brownie and it didn't feel good. I didn't have pain or I could sleep. And so I'm interested in medical cannabis. And so they gave me your number. So yeah.
Robin, let me ask you a question. So when you decided to open up Higher Power CBD, it was because you had been in a car accident. How was it going to the doctors before they actually figured out what was wrong with you? Did they believe you? I remember I got in a car accident. My lawyer didn't believe that I had other issues.
Wow.
He did not believe it. And so when I won the case and won for far more than he thought, it was like I felt vindicated because he thought I was lying. I'm like, I'm not. I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel anything. It's coming from my neck. I got a headache over it. And so when you think about people in pain, normally what people will do is go to the doctor will write them a prescription, but also give them alternatives, but they don't want to do that.
That's true.
They can say, hey, I can give you this prescription,
Mhm.
or I can tell you how to eat and how to exercise, and then that's going to help you out. Yeah. I think that's really holistic ways. How is that like integrating into mainstream pretty much? People not just taking the medication. Now we want to look for other alternatives as far as things to help us with our pain. What have you come up with, Robin? especially being.
I want to address something you just said, that people don't want to do what the doctor tells them.
Mhm. We don't let us.
Besides the appointments I had, the orthopedic, because what happened is my knees hit the dashboard. So now I've got a hip problem. My brain shook. So I'm going to a neurologist because I shook on one side. My primary doctor would see me, but I also had a script where I was going to physical therapy. I showed up for physical therapy. I can't tell you how many times I was there and I'm going, oh, you guys got a slow day. And they said, no, it was 3, 4 people have canceled.
Yeah.
Yet, what I find interesting, I don't want them to stop doing what the doctor tells them to, but but you can use creams or something to help you sleep or roll on pain or whatever. People are looking for quick fixes. When I look at the healthcare industry, it's not doctors. I look at the insurance companies, no offense, the
I'm not
insurance
making money.
companies, the pharmaceutical companies,
Mhm.
and then the patients. The doctors are over here. They're the most innocent, the healthcare. Some things insurance won't cover,
Mhm.
including running certain tests. Sometimes there seems to be just a list of prescriptions that tend to get written all the time. Muscle pain, antibiotic.
Muscle relaxers.
It's just like, here's your 3 kinds of prescriptions, and we can be 20 different people and we're all taking the same things. And so you have the insurance companies and you have, of course, the pharmaceutical companies. And then looming in the background, you also have the food industry. So when those 3 teamed up together against the doctor, and the other one I will name is the patient, who may not even be taking their medicine right. It takes a certain kind of person to be disciplined enough to really want to change and do something about their situation. When you talk about pain or any of these autoimmune issues, where we have progressed in this country is like surgeries, infections, things like that. If you got a cut, if you got a burn, if you need a hip replacement, heart, all of that stuff, this country is good at it. These doctors are running around in 1,000 directions because every time you turn around, there's new diseases, new issues. And when you start to get into a lot of the autoimmune issues, it's hard for doctors to figure it out because every patient has totally different symptoms. Sometimes you have similar things, but it looks like something else because a lot of our autoimmune issues, women have them. They think you're exaggerating. They think you're just overreacting or you're stressed or you're depressed. I think a lot of women doctors, but a lot of men doctors, and this has been documented, just write prescriptions and send people on their way.
Yeah, we talked about that last week as
Yeah.
far as especially Black people go to the doctor. Sometimes they just don't understand. They don't listen.
No.
And so that's something that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
But with Dr. Bates, you were shaking your head, yes. What do you think you had something to say behind that about patients not listening?
Patients don't like to listen. Truly, it is just really going back to the basics. Are you really sleeping? Because during the different sleep cycles, that's when your body is truly trying to heal itself. And if you're not getting proper sleep, now you're irritable. And then with that irritability comes the fatigue. And then with that fatigue, it's not like you're going to want to do any kind of physical activity. And now you're more sedentary and now you're having a lot more pain. And now your mood is all over the place. It's just really going back to those basics where you can truly hear your body. If I'm a nurse practitioner and I want to take that holistic approach, meet the patient where they are, it's like I have to make sure I bring in strategies that are going to be helpful for you. And it really may be, hey, I need you to try to get some better sleep. Let's turn the phones off, turn your TV off, find something that is going to be more calming. Also, too, just other ways to increase your dopamine so that you can feel better. Whether it's through exercise, because we always talk about endorphins, it's making you feel like you got that runner's high, that natural feeling. And they're actually finding that maybe our own endocannabinoids that may could help increase that because usually they say it's endorphins, but they're finding that it may be anandamide, which is an endocannabinoid that our body actually makes that mimics cannabis pretty much. So it's just like I said, it's just still going back to the natural basics.
Yeah. You know what? I went through, it's called the 40-day journey with Dr. Joe, the new journey, and I lost 37 pounds and was taught how to eat. And when I say he breaks down everything, what blood test means, how your liver, your kidney, all that kind of stuff functions. But I did not realize how important sleep is. Oh my God. When I say they drill down on you need to get to sleep and it just resets your body for that next day. And I'm like, you know what? People be like, you can sleep when you're dead. Okay, well, but I didn't know that sleep was that important. I get some sleep. I'll be going to bed earlier. So let me ask you something. What do you suggest about when you go to the doctors and tell them I have this pain, this numbness, this tingling, I have this, and then they do all these tests and they can't find anything, and then they think you crazy. And so now a secondary disorder or diagnosis goes along with a lot of this stuff is depression. And would you say that would be accurate, both Dr. Bates? It's depression that's going to go.
It's either because that's where the whole quote unquote it's all in your head kind of thing comes from, whether it's from anxiety or depression that is now presenting as actual physical symptoms. I can speak from that because that's how my anxiety can show. The first thing that shows up is just joint pains. Yeah, I get the headaches and the muscle tension, but just random, just joint pains. I just know I went too far. And now I need to correct that and have less stress. I know it's easier probably said than done, but that's why I really have turned to the plant, internalized that, and started utilizing it intentionally for that reason.
What about you, Robin?
Let me piggyback on something you said when you mentioned sleep.
Y'all not drinking? I'm not the one drinking tonight. It's Thursday. And the weekend is coming. Y'all still gonna make me drink by myself.
Yeah. Sleep. There is an epidemic in this country of people that have sleep issues. It is connected, as you said, to depression. It is connected to anxiety. It is connected to weight gain because people that don't sleep, a lot of them, the choices they make to eat or drink, the coffee drinks, the Mountain Dew, the soda that has the caffeine to keep them going, and the weight gain, not sleeping. So now you're gaining weight. You've got back problems. You got hip problems. And this is someone that may have not even started off with any health problems, just not sleeping. They can't put their finger on it. I don't know if it's the epidemic of how much caffeine people drink now, as opposed to 50 years ago. If they had coffee, the cup was that big. Now you're small as whatever, and the amount of caffeine that's in it. Caffeine can also stay in your system up to 10 hours. If I drink this much coffee in a cup at 8 and 9 o'clock, I will still be up at 1 o'clock at night. Some people are caffeine sensitive.
Yeah.
It's that thing where you just know your body.
Like we could not have any caffeine.
Yeah.
At all. That was no caffeine.
Yeah.
So
So if someone's listening to this and they say, I don't have fibromyalgia and I don't have neuropathy, but you got high blood pressure, you're diabetic, you'd be amazed as many of these things sound like they're different, and they are different. If we were to have a conversation about what you really needed to do, we would start listing some of the same things. Some, maybe you need to drink more water all day. Maybe you need to not drink any caffeine. I know too, I can't drink green tea or black tea. I'm wondering why I'm still looking at the ceiling fan at night at 3 o'clock. I am wide awake at 3 o'clock. And that's from drinking tea. I know my body. Once you do have an issue, an autoimmune issue, if you can't get sleep, and especially if you are in pain or you're having these other issues, the healing can't even start there. The healing really does, as Dr. Bates says, the body rests. That's its time to rejuvenate. The body detoxes at night. Everything goes on. And it was interesting when Harvard did a study They didn't even say it's 7 hours and 8 hours. They actually spread it out to 9 hours maximum rest. And the other thing too, and I'm blending some other things in, people that are, there's a lot of people right now that have colds or flus, or maybe it's COVID. You got to get some rest. And we keep running to medicine and we want quick fixes. But what we need to be active and proactive. If we did some of these things, like Dr. Bates said, some exercise, got more rest and so on, if you're doing that and you have that as a lifestyle, some of these things you could warn off. If you do have some of these issues, maybe you can manage it a lot better. We're not curing anything, but maybe the management part and knowing your body.
That's very true. I just supposed to know my body when there's anything different. I know it because I pay such attention to it. I don't like the medications, but if they do, we need you to take this. That's why I went through this journey. I've never been on cholesterol medication or anything. She was like, "Oh, your cholesterol high. We're going to put you on cholesterol medication." I'm like, "Oh no, I need to lose weight." So she was just like that. I said, "I'm gonna go on it for 3 months," and I went through the journey. Paying attention to your body and getting sleep is very important in this journey. But with people in pain, not just fibromyalgia or neuropathy, who don't want to take the medications. Right now, if someone came to you, Dr. Bates, and was like, "Look, I don't want to take this medication. I got all these issues. What would you advise me to do?" What if they are overweight? What if they do have diabetes? What if they do have high blood pressure and they got some autoimmune or fibromyalgia on top of all of that? What kind of advice would you give them?
First, I would definitely have to ask them the question, what are they willing to stick with?
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Why I'm saying that is because I can either say eat a healthy diet, eat the right food. But if you're
Mhm.
not going to do it, then how am I supposed to help you?
Mm.
And for me, it's really making that person accountable. So as far as the advice, it really would be that conversation of what are you willing to do? I probably have seen you now over a full year more or longer, and we still having these issues and you haven't taken any steps yet. I want you to let me know what it is that you want to do, because you're saying you don't want the medicine or you tried the medicine, had side effects.
Okay.
I could probably write another prescription, but I don't want to get into polypharmacy and have my clients on so many medications. Since I'm really in the realm of cannabis medicine or CBD, maybe try CBD and see if that helps.
Mm.
And then, of course, giving them more education about cannabis and different ways they could utilize it for their pain, sleep issues, and even appetite control.
Mhm. Okay.
And that's just because, excuse me, I'm sorry. With CBD, some of the benefits of it is that could help to decrease like, the appetite or
Mhm.
appetite control based on the dosage. Of course, you want to start low, go slow with it until you start seeing those effects. Bringing in more of like healthier, what I would consider healthier fats, because
Mhm.
cannabis is a fat loving a plant. So it will help increase the bioavailability for the medication to be utilized to its fullest potential.
Say that again.
As far as CBD,
Mhm.
one of the benefits that they have seen is that it may could help just with appetite control or decreasing the appetite. Where
But you
like,
said something about the plant.
oh, fat loving. Yes. Instead of me just saying like hydrophilic, say hypophilic, all of that. I just want to say,
A fat lover. No, actually, wait a minute. What loves fat? Because I want to make sure I got some of that. And
well, it's
I
like
eat a lot of those. Yeah, you're healthy fat.
pretty kefir yogurt type.
Okay. Oh, like a hell. Ooh, girl, you got me excited. A healthy loving fat, a leaf that loves fat. I can take it and eat what I want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I get it. I get it. Robin, so with the higher power of CBD, have you seen where you've helped a lot of people? What products work best?
I've seen where I've helped, and I've just tweaked my website as of a week ago. I had products like massage oils and spa products, along with the tinctures, pain creams, gummies, and sleep gummies. I eliminated the spa products. And what's funny is I use them and they're healthier choices than some of the over the counter stuff in the drugstore that are hormone disruptors with the perfumes and all of the whatnots that you can't even pronounce. But that's a harder sell because people don't, they've got their go-to lotion and their go-to whatever, and they're going to just keep doing it. When I would do events, I could sell more because people could ask questions and I could explain more. That being said, my focus right now with this brand is totally sleep and pain, period. And hand and fist, they go together. Some people, a lot of people have both. I've gone out to some assisted living places. I got calls from directors, 2 different directors. One was over 3 facilities, another one was over 1 facility. And they said, can you please come and talk to our residents? They are so drugged up from these doctors. They're lethargic. They're not getting up in the morning because of pain medicine, sleeping medicine, muscle relaxers, or whatever. And the thing focusing on older people, you don't want them falling. You don't want them getting up in the middle of the night and stumbling, but especially an older person. I took a muscle relaxer one time in my life, and it was the neck. I felt like I was moving in slow motion. I was young when I did that.
Pills don't make people feel like that. That's not what you
No, I had a customer that was on prescription sleeping medicine. I sold her the gummies and she came back and said, that was the best sleep I've had. I was able to wake up and be awake as opposed to get up. When I would take my pills, a lot of times I was really just going from the bed to the couch, go downstairs, get something to eat, wash up, and sit in the bed most of the day because you're just out of it. And that can lead to some depression too.
Yeah. And so that was one of the big things last week too. And that's something that I went through when I still have issues with pain where I couldn't work or do anything. And then I depressed that in. So I thank God that I had some praying friends that was right there with me. Let everybody know I'm good. Because people be like, oh, is she depressed? Is she's gonna do something to herself? Anybody that know me be like, no, Tanya's more homicidal than suicidal. Oh,
I don't need it. If it don't help me glow, I don't see